Hello guys, welcome back to today's video, and I'm sorry for not posting for a while. My computer had some kind of error on it. In today's video, we're going to be learning a basic Figma tutorial for beginners. So if you're a beginner right here, right now, this tutorial will help you understand the basics of Figma. We are going to do what is Figma and how to use it. Figma is a tool where teams can collaborate to make these amazing designs. You can prototype, you can add shapes, and you can even start commenting on the feedback as well if you're on a team. Well, I'm not really on the team, but I already know that you can comment on it. Now, how do we use it? The first thing we normally use is the toolbar. The toolbar is this little square near the bottom of your screen. It has the select tool, the frame tool, the shapes tool, the pen and pencil tool, the text tool, and the comments. And then what you can do. The actions are like the plugins, and then you can select all. That's what the actions are for. Now, to select all, normally you would normally have to drag across the screen. This blue rectangle that you see here is the thing that helps you select. Now, the first thing you have to do normally to design is either add a frame or a shape. Because it's basic, I'm just going to add a normal rectangle. So add the rectangle. You can always resize it, so you can make it a long rectangle, a wide rectangle, or anything you want. Now, you can also make it a square like I just did. If you want to make it a perfect square, you have to click on Shift and then drag your mouse. Or you can go over to your layout and copy the width to the height. Now, you can see this shape is kind of dull and you want to bring some color and life into it. You go over to the fill over here, click on the box, and then you can make it any color you want. You can also see there's this color bar at the bottom. And of course, there will be the opacity, so how transparent it is. There's also a gradient. So if you go over here, you see there's a gradient, and you can drag the little color box over here. There's also this one, and this is for a video, so like you can upload a video here, but this is kind of for pro and team, so you have to pay for this. And here's another video. Oh, this is images. I'm so sorry for my mistake. So another way you can add images is go to the drop down, and here you will see all these cool shapes. Now click on the bottom image and video, and then go to pictures and see whatever you want. You can upload this, like I'll upload this Bitcoin right over here. And now you'll have to just click on a random space to place it. You can resize it, and then you can add some like effects to it. So you can say it's too bright, let me just make it a bit darker. Or you can just play around with it right now if you want to. Now let's go back to the drop down. As you can see here, there are shapes, and there are also these little letters are like the shortcuts for bringing in the shapes. Let's move on to this one. This is the frame. The frames are like bottles. You can put all the water you want inside of them, and you close it and it stays there only. That's what a frame is. So let me use a phone for example. So I'll just use this phone. And now I will put a rectangle inside of it. Rectangle. As you can see, it's halfway out. That's how a bottle acts. It doesn't put the water out. Now there is also a way for making the shape go out. So if you click on the frame, on the layers, you can click on clip content, and if you unclick it, that means the shape will be going out. Clip content is to like clip something. You know a hair clip? You clip it and then it can't come out. Your hair won't come out unless you drag it. So then when you clip it, it stays inside. Now let's move on to the layers panel over here. The layers panel is where you see all the things. Now let's just make this rectangle red and make another one orange. So Command D and then make this one orange or any color you want. You want the red one to be on top of the green one. The first way you can do it is right click, then say bring front, and then you can do it. Or you can go over to the layers panel and drag. I feel like the drag one is easier for me because I can just go wherever I want and then drag. You can also rename the objects that you put. So you can double click on one and then you can name it. I'll just name it red and then lime green. If you name it, it will be way easier for you to know which shape is which. If you just have rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3, it will be harder. So I just suggest you name it. Of course, you can always name the phone. So I'll just name it phone. Now, you want to group it. As I said, you can bring it out for this. You can always drag across. This is what that blue rectangle is for. Drag, and now click on Control D, and then you have a group 1. Now, the pen and pencil tool is a shape that I normally wouldn't use in my videos. So, it's just to make all these curvy lines, and you can even make shapes as well. So as you can see, I made some kind of rectangle. There's also a pencil here that you can draw with. And of course you can color the background, make the width. And this little rectangle is like for how curvy it will be. Now you won't really need this in my opinion, but it is a pretty cool tool to mess around with. Now we have the text tool. In design, you see all these cool logos and things they say. This is what the text tool is for. The text tool is to write anything you want. So you can say, hello, and then you can see it's too small and people will barely be able to see that unless they have extra big glasses. So you can go to the drop down over here and then make it bigger or smaller. The second way you can make it bigger, this is my favorite way, is to click on Shift and K, or just K itself, and then you can click on Shift and make it bigger or smaller. I suggest the K version because it's easier because you can see it's a freeway, so you can just choose it perfectly without having to hustle or write any numbers. So as you can see, my text has got bigger. Now the font is kind of boring and you want to change it. Go over to the typography tab and then you can click on this long rectangle that says enter. And then you will see all these unique, amazing fonts. I'm just going to use item. And you can see the font changed. Some of them will only have regular, but if you use Poppins, for example, you'll see that it has bold, extra bold, and erratic. The bold is to stand out, to make something stand out. Like this is the most important thing here. So you can, of course, color it if you ever want to. Now over here, you can see pages. So the pages are like page 1, for example, which we are on. You can make a design on here. I'll just make a rectangle as a basic, and then you could say, oh, I'm done with this design and I want another design. Instead of going over to the home tab and making a million more designs, you can click on this arrow here and add a page, which will give you a new page. Now you can right click, duplicate page, or rename the page, of course, and delete the page, which I'm going to do. Now the assets are for like things you prototype, and then you can go over here and bring them into your design. They're really useful for small animations or interactive things. Now, speaking of prototype, what is prototype? Prototyping is a way of linking designs together. For example, if I make a rectangle and I'll make a circle inside it to show you. So circle, I'll make the circle red. And now I'll right click it and say frame selection, because the only way you can prototype is by making a frame. Now you duplicate that frame and now I have no circle here. You can go over to prototype and then you can link with this little plus sign and then you drag to the next frame. Now you might be saying, what is this fancy thing? It's called interactions. So there's trigger, action, destination, and animation. The trigger is used for how we are going to make frame 1 go to frame 2. So it's like normally you would walk to anywhere you want. That's how you go from A to B. That's basically what trigger is. Now you can trigger it in many different ways. So you can drag it while hovering, while pressing. I'm going to use while pressing because it seems interesting. The action is that it has to navigate, so it has to go to that direction. And then, as you see, it will go over to frame 2. And the animation is how it's going to go. While pressing means is that it's kind of instant, which isn't really cool. So then you can use smart animate, which is my favorite way, and I do that a lot in my videos. So the duration is like how many seconds it's going to take. And then you can see the duration on this little tab over here. If it's too fast, you can always change it. And then you've got your interaction. But how do you see it? Well, there are two ways of seeing it. You can share it on a full-on screen, which I am going to do only for a second because it normally takes forever. So as you see, it's loading and you are going to share it on a screen. But I'm just going to X that out because it normally takes forever. Or 2 is that you can go to flow 1. Flow 1 is basically like a way of saying this is how it will look. So you wait for it to load, which might take a while. And as you can see, mine has finished loading. You can do while pressing. For some reason, the circle isn't showing. But when it lights up, like it just did then, you can see that it changed. But for some reason, my internet is horrible and will not show the red circle. But yours might, because your internet might be better than mine. So, prototyping is a really great way of linking designs together. Now you might want to say, I don't want it on the phone, I want it on a laptop. So all you have to do is go to prototype settings, and then you can choose whatever you want. Or you can just say, I don't want a device at all. It depends on what you used before. So you can say landscape or portrait. But if you use a frame that's normally for a computer, it will show a computer over here. You can choose the color, black or silver, and then you can choose the background color. This will not be for the phone itself. So, if you go over here, you say untitled. So you can name it like design, and then you see it changed to design. You can drop down to show the history, the color. You can duplicate it, rename again, add to sidebar, or move to trash. And now, if you go to main menu, back to file, you will see all the designs you have done currently. So these are all the designs, as you can see here. This is my very bad design. And these are the other designs I've been doing lately. So as you can see, there are also these little things over here, like little bars. To make a new design, you have to click on design. Figjam is normally for like planning things. It's the skeleton of the design until you're actually putting color on everything that you want. Normally, you would use the rest of these for team, but I don't really use them because I'm not really in any kind of team or anything. So, those are the basics of Figma. If you want more Figma videos like this, tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, why not hit the subscribe button? I'll see you in my next video. Bye!